Yeah, thanks for just thinking of me, Jackson, again. But yeah, I'm Kyle. I'm based out of Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a home inspector. I do inspections today. So, kind of give you my background. I started my first inspection company 2018, 2019 down in St. Louis, Missouri. I was a single man, did 250, 300 inspections a year, and that was fine. I was happy with that. I eventually got married, and we moved. We wanted to move to Madison, so I sold my home inspection business down there for peanuts. It wasn't worth much because everybody knows you're all the agents want to call you. They don't want to call the guy next door, the other guy that was going to take over the business. So I sold it for peanuts. We moved up here and I was going to build now my second home inspection business up here in Madison. So while I was doing that, I realized, what I was building wasn't really worth much. And if something would ever happen to me or, I did it once. I wanted to do something more. I wanted more freedom. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to work less, all the things you can dream of. So I started this business up in Madison 3 years ago and I stumbled across IEB, maybe at a convention. I'm not even sure exactly. I was probably on a mailing list or something and decided to give it a try. So I signed up for their program. I'm the builder level I'm in and basically just started going to calls and listening to what they do and tell us and just kind of being a fly in the wall, to be honest, and kind of getting insight from what they were teaching. So since then, really, I mean, the brass tacks of it is what has happened in the past 3 years since I've joined. A lot of credit goes to them, but obviously you have to put a lot of work in. They're not going to hand it to you. They'll give you the steps, but you got to walk them. I've hired one inspector. I've gone from zero to this year we'll hit 480,000 in revenue. We should hit around 600 to 700 inspections. I've hired one inspector. We're training another. My wife is a full-time client care coordinator who we're firing, and I'm going to hire a new client care coordinator so she can not have to worry about the business anymore. While doing that, I take roughly 20 to 30% profit each month on top of a salary. And the guys in the field are, Tyler's my inspector. He's a great guy. Like I'm lucky to have him. He does a great job and clients love him, agents love him. And the next guy we found, I think the same thing's going to happen. So ultimately what really brought me to IEB is, there was this cognitive, like there's this idea that like I couldn't scale, like this industry is unscalable for whatever reason. But then when you look around, there's companies in the country that have hundreds of inspectors, literally. So looking in the mirror, I'm like, well, obviously there's something I don't have figured out and other people do. And what is that worth to me to grow the business? And I thought IEB might have it, and it does. So I've been a member probably 2 to 3 years now. I'd have to look exactly, but it's been a great tool for me to stay motivated too, because you're meeting with people, you're hearing calls, you're hearing other people's successes, and you want that as well. So I'm a very competitive person, and that's kind of what drives me as well, is seeing what other people are doing and wanting what they have. So that's a little bit about me, but I really want to hear from like what you guys would have questions about and kind of what your hesitations are or what is even bringing you to kind of even be on this call, because I'm happy to tell you I'm here on my own free will. Unfortunately, IEB doesn't pay me for this, but it's something I feel strongly about, and it's helped me a lot. So I'm happy to contribute. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because like business coaching sounds like a scam. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of does. But that's one of the things that's a big part of it is like it is the mentality. So I remember I had a call with Mark to kind of get onboarded to IEB, and my mentality then was like it's like I didn't have clarity about where I wanted to go and like what I wanted out of my business and where like what I needed to get to where I wanted to go. So all I had was this feeling of like wanting more and not knowing what to do with that. So what IEB has really given me is clarity around where I'm going in my life and what my business will do for me to get me there. So like we have a 5-year plan, a 5, 3, 1 quarterly, monthly, and weekly goals now set up to make sure that they're all in alignment to hit where I want to go to live the life I want to live. Yeah, it's refreshing because I mean, at least for me, going on like the Nachi Facebook group, which I'm not sure if any of you guys are on that, but it's just a bunch of bitter guys that are just unhappy and like want to complain. So being around some people that are more focused on the business and less about like how do you inspect a furnace the best way, and more of like, hey, how should I structure my QuickBooks for the best way? Stuff like that has been very helpful. And then just hearing other people's wins and then being able to reproduce it. So if somebody found a really clever way to train somebody or a clever way to market, or they found just something that you didn't realize, it's nice to have that interaction and hear that quickly. And then probably one of the biggest things that's been the biggest difference maker for me is pods. So some members of IEB will get together with like 3, 4, 5 different other company owners or people in IEB, and you meet weekly and hold each other accountable to the goals you're setting. So I've been very thankful. We put a pod together, and every week we're getting together. We're holding each other accountable to hit the goals that we want to hit. And then we have a text group too. So if something comes up, like you get a call back that's kind of weird and you want some insight, it's just nice to have four like other guys you can just text real quick, or girls, real quick, to say, hey, this is what's going on. What would you guys do? So the community's been good too. And it's just, I'm not the most positive person. So it's nice to have IEB. Like, it's a very positive living group. So it's nice to have that like counter to my, I call it realism, but it's nice to have some like positive energy and positive mentality when you're kind of in the trenches and slogging through it like we are now. Like, even through that, like that. So for the through line, and then just through the like with the community too, is like, how do you train an inspector? Like, how do you actually do that and do it well so they're as good as you? So then when an agent gets them, they're not upset that they got like the second string guy. So like really think about it. And it's something I rack my brain with. And it's something we had a call over. JT, one of the coaches, did a call on how to train your inspector. I still use the sheet he uses to train his inspectors to train the guy I'm training now. And the through line has a whole section dedicated to like how to train somebody. They have a whole another section dedicated to how do you pay this inspector. So like if you grow your company, so like I have 2 inspectors now, one guy's in training, but I'll have 2 in a couple months. If I had 20 inspectors, I need to be able to pay them in such a way that my business can scale. Because if you're paying them wrong when you're small, it's not going to get better as you get big. So like having answers to these questions early on sets you up for long-term success. Like, is this scalable and will this help me grow the business in the long term? And IEB, it sounds like a sales pitch, but they really do have a lot of like really good systems and processes that work. And the Facebook group too. So once you join, you get in a Facebook group. The Facebook group's been around since like 2019 or something.
Yeah.
So there's all these posts, and then you can search in the Facebook group for whatever question you have. It's probably been answered like a dozen times by like 30 different people, and you can see what the consensus is within the group. And if you can't find it, you always can just post it. And everybody is very nice. And the opposite of like the home inspector Facebook groups, like they'll help you and give you your insight, and people are really good in that sense. So outside of the coaching, the community, even like those resources themselves, I find are worth it if you're willing to like invest the time to go through it. I find myself going back to those often. It sounds cliche, but it's clarity. What do you? I can answer with 100% certainty like what I want and where I'll be in 5 years, and like I know exactly what my next like 6 moves will be, and what will be holding me back from getting there. And I have an idea of what I need to do to get past those. But inevitably, something I don't know will happen, and I have a community of people that I can reach out to. Like JT is one of my favorite coaches at IEB. I can just text him, be like, "Hey man, this is something I'm really struggling with. Like, what should I do?" And he has, how many guys does he have? He has like 30 inspectors. He has a mold remediation company. Anything I'm dealing with, he's dealt with it. So it's just nice to have that instant response, because you don't have to make the mistakes they made. They'll just tell you, hey, this is what works for me. And you don't have to hire the wrong guy or like go down the wrong path to learn what to do to grow your business. So overall, it's clarity. Like, can you clearly speak what you want out of your business, where you're going, and how you're going to get there? And if the answer is no, like you need more clarity, whether it's IEB or not, but you should be able to write that down and have a pretty clear vision of what you're going to do. I think Greg Bryan calls it his North Star. Like, where are you heading in the horizon to get to? So I think that's the most helpful thing. Otherwise, you're just winding around back and forth. You need a direct path to where you're going. I mean, that's what people say. It's like a cult. I mean, like people have called it that. That's fine. I was telling Jackson before we got on, I'm not probably the most IEB goer, because I'm a little bit more competitive. IEB is very cooperative and collaborative. And as a competitive person, I need that kind of like to temper me. So it's nice to be a part of that. But it's nice when it all comes together and you start seeing the stuff that you're learning like applied in your business, and then your employees see it too. Like Tyler's my inspector, and the guy we're training now, like they have the vision too. So I can tell them that, hey, this is where we're going, and they get excited because of that, and they want to be along with you for the journey. So it's just, if somebody's fired up, it's easy to get other people fired up about it too. In the beginning, at least for me, it's overwhelming, because like there's a lot going on, and you kind of realize that, hey, I'm not as organized as I thought I was. And there's a lot of people, at least for me, there's a lot of really smart people that have a lot more figured out than I do, and I need to catch up a little bit. So I did a lot of unsexy stuff, like cleaning up my reports, making them more user friendly, going through like processes of like how do we inspect stuff, like unsexy stuff. So I don't have a really firm answer for you, but I will say like I gladly am a member and I still pay the dues every month to this day because of the value from it. So I would say realistically, I would give yourself like a 6-month run up or lead time to like start implementing things. So one of the big takeaways is like how many hours a week are you sitting down and just working on your business and not inspecting? Like, do you have 4-hour blocks set up just to sit down and like work on your business? I didn't. Like, I was just like, hey, that's another inspection slot, throw it there. So having time dedicated to do that will give you that ramp to go up, but it's not a straight up, right? It's more logarithmic. It's going to slowly go up and then quickly go up. So I'd say like 3 to 6 months to start seeing some money return from it. Yeah. So time blocking is huge. So like a lot of the coaching calls are like the ones I attend are generally Wednesday mornings. So Wednesday mornings blocked out for business work, like stuff I need to get done in the office. I do, it's my Builder Plus or Advanced. I can't keep track. I think I'm Builder Plus. So Builder Plus call I do. And then after that, I jump right into a pod meeting, which is that accountability group we have. And then from there, then I fill it up with like through line 2, like here and there. But ultimately, it's the nice thing about the through line 2 is like I can't sometimes like the marketing call is in the middle of the day at like 2 o'clock. Like I just can't make that. Like I'm not going to block a inspection slot off just to make a 1-hour call. All those calls get uploaded to the through line. So if it's a good topic, you can always jump back in and watch it like in the evening or, don't tell anybody or like while you're driving to your next inspection, you can throw the video up and listen to it. So kind of prioritizing where you want to go. In the next year, like we want to grow, we want to stand up our commercial inspection. Sorry, that's my daughter, if you could hear. We want to stand up our commercial inspection business. So I'm probably going to start time blocking time to listen to those commercial inspection calls. But again, the through line has all the old ones on there, so I can just kind of catch up that way too.